Om Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha. Gurudeva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Swaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike. Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostate Swaha. Om Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupena Samsita. Namaste Se, Namaste Se, Namaste Se. Namo Namaha Swaha. Om Trambakam Yajamhe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam. Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityar Mukshya. Mamritat Swaha. Om Durge Durge Rakshini Tata Swaha. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 26th of December 2024. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Bhagavan, Paramatma, residing in the heart of every single being at all times. We're continuing our exploration of Mandukya Upanishad, and we are going to move forward into the second word, and that is iti. So the verse is very interesting because it is as follows. It is Om iti etat aksharam idam sarvam tasya upavyakhyanam bhutam bhavat bhavishyat iti sarvam omkara. This is the verse broken down. And then it actually goes a little bit further. Yat chanyat trika trikalatitam tat api omkara. So there's 20 different words here. So om iti etat aksharam idam sarvam tasya upavyakhyanam bhutam bhavat bhavishyat iti sarvam omkar yat chanyat trikalatitam tat api omkar. So we're moving forward today. We've been talking about the omkar last several days, and there's a lot to be said. I mean, everything is, in the omkar, of course. The second word is iti, right? So the second word in this mantra is iti. And what that means is that omkar is the final essence. It's the total essence. It marks the conclusion or emphasis of the statement, which is omkar itself, signifying that om encapsulates the essence of all teachings. Meaning that when we are doing dhyan, as we engage in the meditation of om, the connection with all of the Brahma Vidya occurs, and it begins to drop and droop within our mind. Our mind begins to resonate with all of the teachings, with all of the various truths, and ultimately the one singular truth that is present everywhere at all times. So that is why, interestingly, in this Upanishad, the word iti is used. The word iti is used because it says there's nothing more you have to worry about. There's nothing more you have to even understand, really. Because once the realization of the Atman and the Paramatma occurs, then everything is just it's just an additional, it's just basking in the ananda. Let me see if I can explain that a little bit more clearly. Why this word iti is there. So how can we say this? Let's put it this way. In Gujarati, in our SWAMINARAYAN Satsang, we say, Ke ekado etle bhagwanni nishta. To explain this Upanishad in connection with this idea. Let's put it this way. If you make a lot of zeros, take a piece of paper, make a lot of zeros. Let's say we make 10 zeros. But what is the value of 10 zeros? It's only 0. But if you put the number 1 in front of those 10 zeros, now it has tremendous value, right? If you make 1 0 and you put a 1 before that, the value is 10. Make 2 zeros, you put the 1 before that, the value is 100, like that. So the Om is that number 1, or any of the numbers 1 through 9. I would say put number 9 because 9 would be the highest value. And that's also very interesting because that connects with the Navdurga. Put the number 9 in front of the 0. And you can make as many zeros as you want. But if you just keep making zeros without putting the number 9 in front, what happens? The value is only 0. You can make million zeros. Value is only 0. It's like that. Om iti, when the Upanishad says, Mandukya Upanishad says, Om iti, means that Om is that number 9, is that number 1, any number 1 through 9, but it's number 9, meaning it's the highest number you can put before the number 0. Why? What is the significance of this? See, when we have Shraddha, Swarup Nishta in Bhagavan, because in the Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, I am the primordial Omkar. So when we are chanting Omkar, we are remembering the Supreme Bhagavan. The same Purushottam Bhagavan, Parabrahma Bhagavan, we're remembering that Tattva. And so we're not just remembering, we're connecting with that Tattva and making the number 9. You know, they say in Satsang, make the number 1 before the 0. I would say make the number 9. Sachin would say humbly, why is that? Because there's 2 reasons. 9 that's the highest number you can make. Which is greater, 9 million or 1 million? 9 million. And why number 9? Because that is a very sacred number. The number 9 is a very sacred number. Why is it a sacred number, holy number? Because it is the 9 forms of Devi, Navadurga. And that has to do with the creation of Prakriti, the way Prakriti manifests itself. That's a deeper explanation. I won't go into that too much right now. But the Navadurga, she shows her forms in 9 ways. So all 9 forms of Devi bless us to reach the state beyond Prakriti. She releases the grip from every angle because all 9 goddesses, you know, there's the Skanda Mata and there's there's so many different forms of Durga Devi, of Navdurga. It is called Navdurga. She releases the Jivatma from all 9 sides. That is what it is. You know, we talked during Navratri of all the 9 forms. Those recordings are there, so I won't go into that right now. But this is the point. Why the number 9? So the number 9 and the Omkar are related this way. They're related because when we chant Omkar, when we have a diya, this is why we do a divo. In Gujarati, we say divo karvo. All the time there's a, in any ceremony, there's a lamp lighting ceremony, there's a deep pragatya ceremony. Isn't it so? Even when they do the musical, this recital, sitar or santur, and they're supposed to chant, light a lamp. You see, so before starting any kind of sadhana, whether it's musical sadhana, adhyatmic sadhana, kuch bhi ho, it doesn't matter. Even we do some obviously religious rituals, but even things like in reality, even before making a meal, even before starting some study, you light a small diya, divo, or in Marathi we say diva. We light that. And that is Navdurga. That is Jwala Devi. Jwalaye, Jwalaye, Jwala, Jwala, Prajwala, Prajwala, Aim, Rim, Klim, Chamundai, Viche, Jwala, Ham, Sam, Lam, Ksham, Hat, Swaha, Jwala. In that Jyot, everything is there. All 9 forms of the infinite Shakti is there. And that is necessary because that Shakti is in us. So when we light the lamp, when we light the beautiful lamp, and even in Christianity, other religions, they light candles all the time. Why is that? It's the same thing. We are connecting with Divya Shakti, asking for the blessings of Durga Devi to light our path. Like even Jesus says, I'm the light. Why this word light is there? Prakash. In the Shiv Sahasranam it comes Divya Prakash. Everywhere it comes Prakash, Prakash, Prakash. Divya Jyoti. Why is that? Because our mind can be lit with the path towards Akshara Brahma. It has to be lit up. It has to be awakened. The mind, the antakarana, our entire energy system needs to be awakened. This is why in this Upanishad, Om Iti means finish. There is nothing more. Everything that comes afterwards, it's just a further glory of that which is already obtained. It's just a further exposition of that. That's all. So, for example, if somebody has let's just use it as we were talking about the number 9 and all, let's say a $900 billion check. Not million, billion. $900 billion check. It's a big check like this, and it's under your name, you can cash it. But that check is given to a 3-year-old. Yes, the 3-year-old, it's under the 3-year-old's name. Let's say the 3-year-old's name is Pranav. Let's say Pranav is the name of the 3-year-old child. Somebody has given this check, maybe the government or somebody has given this check to this. That child has to grow up to understand what that is. It has to slowly, day by day, everything the child does year after year after year. Once the child reaches a certain age, maybe 14, 15, 16, has some understanding. Once the child reaches the age of 21, is no longer a child, has even greater understanding. And even more understanding comes in the 30s and 40s. It comes later on. What is the glory of what has already been obtained? Everybody knows about Omkar. Who doesn't know? But it is like, it is like most human beings are like that 3-year-old or 5-year-old with that $900 billion check. Doesn't know what to do with it, how to use it. It sees it as a piece of paper only. Maybe some relaxation is there, some this and that, thoda omkar dhyan ke. We don't know how to use that. We don't know what to do with that even. That's why we have to grow up. To grow up means to resonate our life with the preparation for the Omkar sadhana to really, really get established inside of us. Just like that 3-year-old has to become a 5-year-old, then a 10-year-old, 15-year-old, eventually becomes 25-year-old, and say, oh my God, I see what I am. He was always a $900 billion person. Even at that age of, that Pranav was already at the same, he was a $900 billion billionaire at the age of 3. Even we have Omkar. We have Paramatma with us already. But we just don't know it. It is the deficiency of recognition. Deficiency of Mahima. Mahima meaning glory of what is already there. Balak na hatma chintamani. We say this in satsang all the time. Balak na hatma chintamani. Chintamani is a wish-fulfilling stone. The small child asks for small things. Doesn't know what it can potentially do. That small 5-year-old doesn't know what a $900 billion check is. Has no idea what that means. He'll exchange it for a piece of chocolate. It is something that he can taste. This is what we're doing. For the objects of the senses and whatnot, we're wasting our buddhi, our intelligence in so many ways, and our energies, in throwing it all away for the small experiences of this sansar and getting crushed in that, and then living a life of poverty. Spiritual poverty, it is called. But when we recognize, know that this we can grow. So the Omkar sadhana, that's why the Upanishad says Om Iti. Iti means that the sadhak has evolved into a state where the Omkar has blossomed completely. It's like that child who has evolved into that 25-year-old young man who can see, my God, what $900 billion can do. It's incredible what the power is. It's like that. When the blossoming of the sadhak occurs into the sthiti, into the Omkar, because the Omkar sadhana is so intense, it will open everything. It will keep opening. And you do everything else. You do all bhajan, mantra, kirtan, scriptural reading. Everything that is going to come in the remaining of this first line is already in the Omkar. That's why the word iti is there. It's interesting. Why the word iti is there? And then all the other things about the waking state, dream state, past, present, future, it's a further elaboration. It's like that Omka, that $900 billion check is there. Now you can do everything with that. Once you realize what it is, everything begins to open. Thousands of homes can be bought. So, trips can be taken. Maybe 100,000 people can be employed. All kinds of things can be done in the material world with that kind of wealth, right? So this is the point, that when the spiritual wealth opens up, the dimension beyond the Jagrat Swapna Shushupti opens. That is the anuswar of the Omkar. Maybe tomorrow I'll show you the picture. We'll go through the actual symbol. But it means that the opening happens into the Turiya Avastha. And that opening is the most extraordinary thing. That opening is where this iti comes. Om iti. This is only the second word, Om iti. And iti meaning, once the sadhak sees param drishtva nivartate, as the Bhagavad Gita says, vishayava nivartante nirahara siddhina, rasavarajam rasopesya param drishtva nivartate. Once that opening happens, you get a glimpse of that param tattva. Aur kya chahiye jeevan mein? What else do we want? Getting a glimpse of that param tattva is the iti. All the vasanas go away. All the ignorance goes away. That 3-year-old, the 5-year-old playing with the small toys and chocolates and this and that, running after small foolish things, goes away. It completely goes. What is the difference between the billionaire who is a 3-year-old and the billionaire who is a 25-year-old? The difference is the 3-year-old is world is small toys, artificial toys and games and things like that, even up to age 10. And then when he grows up, this same is there, but the whole vision is different. Similarly, the sadhak, when it is awakened completely into the dimension that is Parabrahma, Purushottam Bhagwan, Paramatma, jo akshar se bhi par hai, aksharatit, tasmat sharamati doham aksharat api chottama atosmi loke vedecha paraditah purushottamaha. Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, as we mentioned before. When that dimension opens up, when you get a glimpse of that, everything else becomes child's play. It's a glimpse of the divine. Then the sadhak stops playing with the toys of this world, with the vishayas of the... Vishayas are there. Panch vishaya is samatva aa jata hai isme. There's no pulling back and forth. There's no running. It's like, even if that $900 billion Pranav sees a small fire truck or fire engine or small cars, things that he was playing with when he was 5 years old, he can still hold them. It's a play, it's a leela, it has no consequence. But when he was 5 years old, if the father took away the small truck or the small car, he will have so much pain. Oh, you're crying, shouting, screaming. This is what we're doing. We're shouting, screaming because of the things going on in our lives and in our world, because we are so trapped inside the 3 gunas of Maya. But once we awaken out of that, nothing can touch us. Nothing absolutely can touch us. How can it? How can it? You see, Gopalanand Swami said, I'll close with this today. I went a little over time. Gopalanand Swami, Bhagwan Swaminarayan के बहुत बड़े अष्टांग योग सिद्ध संत थे. उन्होंने ऐसी एक बात लिखी है इन गुजराती. He said कि આખો બ્રહ્માંડનો પ્રલય થઈ જાય તો પણ અંતરમાં કોઈ પ્રકારનો શોભ ના થાય. Even if the whole Brahmand breaks apart, because you have realized that which is beyond the Brahmand, it holds no consequence. It's like a bubble which is going to go anyway. This is the height of Vairagya. But kitni badi baat hai. Hamare जीवन में something small thing changes. We are so lost and up and down. God knows what we do. Because we have, that is the difference between the awakened sages, जिसको एकांतिक संत कहते हैं, ब्रह्म स्वरूपिणी भक्ति वाले संत कहते हैं, and the ordinary sadhakas. Everybody's on this path. We can awaken to this extraordinary state. And when we awaken to that and get a glimpse of the God, you know what that is like? Even this body है कि body नहीं है, इसका भी कोई प्रश्न नहीं रहता. कितनी बड़ी बात है. Right now we get a small scratch or small cut or something like that, we are so disturbed. Yeah, we have to take care of the body, but we get so disturbed from inside. Yeah, so that all disturbances stop. Body and see, this is where this Upanishad. One more point. Om iti. Om iti means that you have become a Paramahansa. You have realized the Atma Tattva. The body is kept as a seva. By Bhagavad Ichha, by the grace of God, the body of such an enlightened being is maintained here for the benefit of millions of people. Because the Paramahansa, any Paramahansa, can leave the body anytime. After just a little bit of extra sadhana, they can just let go of the... it's like this. I'm wearing this jacket right now. This jacket I'm wearing. How much time does it take for me to open this zipper and just take the jacket off? Maybe less than 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Isn't it so? Similarly, a Paramahansa can voluntarily leave the body anytime. They are already gone outside the body. Body तो एक वस्त्र जैसा है. Body मैं हूँ ही नहीं. मैं कौन हूँ? मैं दिव्य अक्षर हूँ. अक्षरम अहम, ब्रह्मोहम, कृष्णदासोस्मि. I am, मैं ब्रह्म तत्व हूँ, मैं अक्षर तत्व हूँ, मैं दिव्य हूँ. ये शरीर तो एक, it is just a clothing. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya. But how but that level of realization of the Atma Tattva, wo bahut badi baat hai. But anyway, the point is that takes time. That's why akhanda satsang, intensity of sadhana, and in the right way. It's not like all of a sudden you just start doing, jump into that, and it doesn't work like that. Your mind has to handle that thing slowly, gradually. Gradual upliftment, like the plane analogy, the plane catches speed. The plane doesn't go from 0 miles to 100 miles, just the 100 miles an hour, just like that. It has to capture speed. And then eventually the wheels will not be touching the ground anymore, will not be touching the floor anymore. The moment it lifts off, that is where we have transcended Maya. The pull of Maya, the gravity of Maya is transcended just at that point. Then we can fly further. So let's stop here for now. Om Dhyanamulam Gurur Murti Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mokshamulam Gurur Krupa Tameva Mata Chipita Tameva Bandusha Sakha Tameva Vidya Dravinam Tameva Sarvam Mamadeva Deva Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Gnanamurtim Dvandatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyadi Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalavachanam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna Rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Om Divalingaya Nama Urdhvalingaya Nama Anandalingaya Nama Dvadash Jyotirlingaya Namo Namaha Om Durge Rakshini ठः ठः स्वाहा ओम श्री दुर्गार्पणमस्तु ओम श्री राधा कृष्णार्पणमस्तु.